Morning.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Karen's not with us today. She is traveling. She's actually right now either at the airport or getting on a plane for a little 4-day excursion. She'll be back on Tuesday. Okay, first of all, well, everyone's realizing that we are live and online. There is a new blog. It's called prosperityclues.com. Don't forget to go check it out, jump on there, subscribe if you want to. It is my personal blog. I am actually writing again. I am blogging. I am promising there'll be at least one new update a week, maybe two. If spirit moves me, we'll see. I
Right.
just, by the skin of my teeth, finished it this morning at 6 a.m. and put it up. So it is there. It's posted on our main Facebook page, also on our Apply Happiness Facebook page. So you can click right over to it from there, or you can just go to the URL directly. It is prosperityclues.com. If I could figure out how to drop a comment, I would drop the link, but maybe Tracy knows how to drop a comment. Okay, Tracy's going to drop the direct link.
Yeah.
So in order to find the new post, though, we're still trying to figure out how to get the new post to come to the top of the blog. Tracy posted the direct link right to
That's the direct one, and then here's just the website itself. So yeah.
All right, Michelle already read it. Yay!
Oh,
you know why? Because Michelle is subscribed to the blog. So guess what? Michelle gets an email every time there's a new post. So if you want to be like Michelle and get the jump on the new stuff, you should subscribe to the blog.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's a very simple blog site. I literally built it myself because I just knew I was supposed to start writing again. And Drew's working on a new site for Apply Happiness, so I didn't want to bother him to build me a blog site. So I just did it myself. I think on the 7th of March, I put it up. Okay, so we're actually going to talk. The whole goal of this new way is that I'll put up a post and then that will be our topic.
Yeah.
And we'll elaborate on the see, Michelle has no computer literacy and she can figure out the blog. I like it. Yes, it's very simple. I don't have a lot of computer literacy either. So for me to build it and put it up, it has to be simple. So again, that's prosperityclues.com. It is going to be a hodgepodge of everything that we talk about. It's clues for how to have a more successful life. It's clues for how to be more prosperous. It's basically all the subject matter that'll help you guys on your path. And it's my experiences with that as we move along. So as you know, I'm in the middle of a trusting the process phase myself with some transitions with career stuff. It has actually now moved around in a good way. I am keeping some of my clients and we've just moved to a lesser version of that. And we will be taking, Tracy's taking coaching clients and I'm taking coaching clients as well. And we'll tell you more about that in the weeks to come. We're building a new site. I actually filed Apply Happiness as the trade name for Fortunato Partners. So you'll see us start to come out as Apply Happiness now. And that will be the main website once it's finished being built. So we're just moving into really wanting to educate people on how to move ahead with their lives and how to be better versions of themselves. That's kind of our side hustle mission. And we've been on it for a while and we're just fine tuning the way that we're going to present it to the world. We are also going to release a series of practical change working books. So not a book and not a workbook, but an actual working book, which will combine my mother's affirmations at the back with tools and tips from Tracy and I, and possibly Karen too. She wants to participate with us on how to move yourself ahead in a particular topic, based on what we think your pain points are, right? So I actually spent a lot of time making an avatar of who I think are demographic is, who we're talking to, and what your pain points are. So we'd also love to hear from you. We're looking for your kind of 5 major pain points in your life. Like, what are the 5 main things that really trouble you? So far, we've got, health and well-being, like exercising, not being the weight that you want, not having enough money seems to be the biggest one for people. Also, not being able to discipline yourself into new ways of being, like knowing that you want to change, but not quite knowing what to do, and then not being able to get yourself to do it. So it's like, you know what you need to do, and you might do it for a day or a week, and then you fall off, and then you beat yourself up. The other one is self-worth. That's a big one too. So we're looking for any other ones that are really just main things for you in your life and that you kind of wrestle with as a pain point. Yeah. What I guess a good way to look at it is like, what's keeping you from being happy every day? That's what we want to know. Like, what's worrying you? What's troubling you? What are those topics? The only one I want to stay away from is romantic relationship. That's really not one I want to get into. Although Tracy and I could definitely speak to that. I just think there's a lot of other people that are doing that, and that's what they like to do. And I don't really want to get into that because there's always a lot of just a lot of drama in those conversations. And I was like, I'm going to be 56 this year. I don't want to talk about it. Sarah says those are the exact ones. How did I know? Sarah, because I've been talking to you guys for like 10 years and I know what I think I know. And I just want to make sure before we start to actually create content that addresses these things, I want to make sure we're on point. So how this will work is like the working books will be for sale on Amazon. And then once you buy the book, there'll be a free course on the Teachable platform that you can subscribe to. And then there'll be a community within the Teachable school that you can join. And then Tracy and I, and possibly Karen, if she wants to play with us, will come once a month into the Teachable school community and we'll answer your questions live. So you'll actually be able to interact with us live on a monthly basis inside the Teachable school, inside that platform. So you'll be able to purchase the working book on Amazon, and they'll be reasonable. It'll be under like $15. Yeah. So you'll buy that, and then you'll start working with the material, and then you'll go and get the free course on the Teachable school, which will be me helping walk you through it. And probably Tracy too, in some cases. She's going to come for a visit and we'll record some of the stuff that will go into these courses. And then we'll probably have a coaching course that you can take. So it'll be me coaching you for like 6 modules, and then Tracy might have one too. And those will be for sale. So if you can't afford to have us coaching you like on a regular basis, you'll have the opportunity to work with us as coaches in something that you can purchase and work at your own pace. And those will also be reasonably priced. Tracy's will probably be like $199 and mine will be like $299. And that will be, so kind of the top price that we're thinking for this whole new body of work for you guys would be like $299. And that would be a 6-session course to coach with me on video, like I record it and then you work at your own pace. And then there'll be some free classes on Teachable, and then the books will be the thing that people purchase. So that's kind of how that's going to work. And then if you want to work with us personally, you can, but it's a little more expensive than those kind of pre-recorded things. So I'm kind of figuring this demographic as you probably have about $300 worth of like disposable income, maybe every quarter or so, that you could spend on your own personal development or something like that. So I'm interested to, in anything you guys have to say that can lead us as we're really going to start to get into creating this content over the next like 60 days with the intention of launching the first couple of working books like between my birthday and my mother's birthday. So between August 25th and September 28th. So that's the plan, with all this kind of a fine tuning of the reason that we do the coffee chat show and the content. What I'm feeling is that I really want to direct you guys more to tools and things that you can actually use to make a difference in your own life. Because it's great to listen to the show and get inspired, and then you go back into your life and it's kind of shitty. And we really want to give you the tools. We want to arm you with the tools and the understanding to actually start to make a difference in your own life, day in and day out. And it's work. So again, you don't, what do we say? If
Yeah.
you don't want to do the
Gotta
work,
do the work.
somewhere else, go listen to someone else, go listen to people who are good at this as well, and probably might even be more inspiring than me, because they'll make you feel good and they'll probably be nice to you. And that's not me. I'm not going to be super mean, but I am going to light a fire under your ass, and I am going to tell you to stop whining, and I'm going to tell you, and Tracy's going to tell you the same, and Tracy's actually meaner than me, so I'll tell you. It's like, listen, if you
With
want
love.
to change,
Yes.
you know, do something about it. I was telling a client, I was thinking about this while I was in the shower yesterday. I was telling a client the other day, a coaching client. I have a couple, and I am opening my books to take 5 more coaching clients with me directly, but that's it. That's all I really have time for. So if you want to coach with me, if you want to light a fire under your ass and you're prepared to, you know, pay for that, then you're welcome to email me, and we can talk about it. But if you're not willing to do the work, Tracy and I are not your people. So you should not ask us to coach you. So here's the thing. I told my client to be gentle with herself. And then I laughed with her and I said, if someone had told me that I would utter those words, be gentle, like 6 years ago, I would have vomited and laughed in their face. However, here's the difference between me a decade ago coaching and me now, and something that I understand. I do believe that there is work involved in change. And I understand that the people that are out there simply teaching law of attraction and law of manifestation are 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 basically, the school of thought is that if you just feel good and you focus on the right stuff, then the right things will come to you. And I don't disagree with that. However, for me, there's another half of that. And the other half is that you have to put in some effort, because that's what elevates your receiving index. And that's what elevates your worthiness on the inside. Because at the end of the day, most of us, I think, feel like we have to be doing something in order to get something. And also, when you don't work for something in some way, you don't appreciate it. So here's where the gentle comes in. And I could have been more gentle with myself over the last probably 20 years. And here's the thing. There are days when you just don't have it and you just don't feel well, and or whatever. And there are times when leaning into that and being gentle with yourself and giving yourself a pass is a good thing. And then there are times where pushing through and being a friggin' warrior and beating it back is appropriate.
Right.
So there is no definition that's good for every time. Because when you're super effed up and super not in it, if you force yourself to try to do the work or go to the thing or whatever, it's going to be awful, because you really don't have it in you. But then there are other times, Trace, I'll let you jump in here one second. There are other times when, if you continue on that path, you're wallowing and you're buying into your feelings. Like, feelings are good to not sit on top of, because it'll make you sick. However, feelings are meant to be like, okay, this is how I'm feeling. I'm expressing this, and I'm giving myself X amount of time, I'm giving myself 24 hours to eat cake and sit on the sofa and binge watch. And then I'm going to shake myself up, dust myself off, and I'm going at it again because I won't be defeated. Okay. So this is where I used to think it was only the warrior way and there was no gentle and there was no take a pass. And that because honestly, when you're a single mother, I feel like you don't have the luxury to take a pass, or at least I felt that way. I felt that if I let it go for 1 second,
Yep.
I would lose it.
Yep.
I wouldn't have enough money to pay for anything.
Yep.
So I didn't allow myself I didn't allow myself that, right? I didn't allow myself to have a pass. So what I can share with you from 56 is it's as long as you can contain that, as long as you can put a beginning and an end on it, and as long as you have the inner strength to when it's end, it's time to go again. As long as you don't sink into that shit, it's okay to do gentle, do self-care like that, right? As long as you don't become a wallower. And I'll let Tracy jump in on this.
So as Noelle was just saying, the law of attraction, the law of prosperity, there's a law of physics. I want to refer to the law of gravity. Okay, all these laws, they just happen. They're automatically happening around you, whether you know it or not. You may not even be able to understand how it works, like the law of gravity. How does that, let's scientifically look at, you have to do work in the law to prove the law of gravity. And it's called, you need to let go of, let's just say you're holding the cup. To experience the law of gravity, you have to let go of the cup. So you have to do something in order to see the movement of the law that you're in. So if it's the law of attraction or the law of prosperity, you have to do something in order to have the law show up in your life. That's what I just thought of when you were talking about that. Like,
love that.
It's work, right? Yep. And it's only difficult because you're retraining your mind, right? Just like when you go to the gym to exercise and you do a routine that maybe you haven't done before and your body is experiencing something new. It's you're pushing yourself a little bit and you're like, oh, okay, I think I can do this. And then the next day you're a little sore and you're like, oh, okay, well, that was worth it. Well, the same as the mind. You need to exercise the mind to make it change in a new way so that it's different. Like your body's going to change as a result of going to the gym. If you're disciplined and you're continuous and like you're always paying attention to it and you're doing what needs to be done, same as the mind. It's harder because you can't really see it, whereas you can see your body changing, but your mind is changing. And maybe when you pay attention to the words that are coming out of your mouth, then you can see that your mind has gone down a new way because you're saying things differently. And then things are showing up in your life differently because of what you're saying. I mean, it's just the process of the law.
Right. I love that. That's great. And this is where, so the blog that I posted this morning is about trusting the process. So when you're in like a major shifting transition time, it's really what I realized since I've been going through this since like November, and I'm now coming to the tail end, thank the Lord, coming to the tail end of like moving a bunch of stuff around, understanding what's staying, understanding what's going, understanding what I need to create. And I just feel like, man, it's been a bitch because every day it seemed like it was a different decision. And every day, and Tracy knows because I tell her a whole different thing every time I talk to her, which is frequently. Karen, same thing. But like you, and I wasted some money on jumping ahead with a couple things that I thought were going to be like the thing. So it's been, I've cried a lot of tears. It's been a lot of soul searching. It's been a lot because like over the last year, I've known that it's time to make some kind of a major shift in the way that I work and what I'm putting my attention on work-wise and how that all lines up. And first I thought it was like to get rid of all that. And then now I've come to the determination in the last couple of days that it's, there were 3 things. So one thing went all together and then 2 things rearranged, which is actually great. And now we're going to go this way with like, now I'm like, okay, I know what this is. This is the foundation. This is the base. Okay, good. Now it's time to create. And so that's where all this, that's where we're creating this whole new body of work that we're going to release. Okay, so what I realized in the middle of, because I've been through I would say at least 4 of these major son of a bitch transition times. What will save you is having a list of 5 to 10 actions that you can go to when your mind is going batshit about how everything's falling apart. It doesn't look the way you think. What the hell's the matter with you? What's happening here? Oh my God. 5 to 10 actions. Obviously, we recommend some of the tools, which is like gratitude listing, your affirmation cards, glory story, bookending your days, something in the morning, something at night. For me, it's my prayer time, working out, like 5 to 10 actions that you can call your oh shit list. Like when your mind is going nuts about whatever it looks like in the moment, you need to be able to go to, okay, all right, wash the dishes. Okay, good. I'll do that. Make a sandwich. Okay, good. I'll do that. Do my prayers, say my rosary, read a good book, call Tracy, whatever those actions are. That's got to be, how, the guys in the military have a go bag. This is your go list. This is important. Hence my emotional reaction. Whenever I'm telling you guys something important, I start to cry. It's really embarrassing, but I've just accepted it by now. This is important because when you are like on Monday or Tuesday, I had a bad day. It was actually Wednesday, excuse me. It was a bad day. It was like, I just was feeling very dark and very like, I don't know what the hell is happening to my life. And it was just a bad day. But I am so well trained that I knew what to do. So in the middle of being gentle with myself and allowing myself to eat a bunch of French fries and watch a movie, and like I made the calls I needed to make. I did my prayers. I got on the treadmill, right? And I just I made it through the day. And the next morning I got up and I said, I'm so sick of hearing myself talk about this, like everything that's happening. I'm so sick of it. And I just said out loud, okay, God, you know what? I'm done. It's yours. You figure it out. Yeah. You tell me what to do. I'm over it. Literally 30 minutes later, I got a phone call and it was someone that I trust, a mentor of mine. And it was like, here's how it's all going to work. Do. And then it was literally, it was solved. It was all solved. Everything in one call. That goal list is what kept me from really sinking into, listen, here's the thing. 44 years I've been practicing this shit. Not kidding. 44 years. I actually found out by being over at my mother's and cleaning up her stuff. I was 11, not 12. If I still, in a point of challenge, am having such a difficult time, I know how you guys are feeling. And I also know that God uses my life as a testimony and an example. So I'm walking through this again because I'm able to, I share with you often about the transition 7 years ago. And now it's even fresh again because this period from mid-October to a day ago, I'm telling you, it has felt like the worst time. So that goal list is really important. That list that you just, the actions and you just do what's on the freaking list. Mm-hmm. And part of that could be go help somebody else, because when you get busy with somebody else's problem, your problem doesn't seem so, whatever, so awful. Right. So Tracy, you want to say something about that? Hi, Karen. Karen must be watching us on the plane.
Karen. Just want to remind us all that it's really important to not live in the uncertainty or the doubt, that to set your mind on a few adjectives that make you feel uplifted and motivated for yourself. Sometimes it's really hard when we grow up in an environment where we're told to sit down and shut up, right? Like your voice doesn't matter. What do you know? You don't have anything to say here because you're a child, right? And so as we grow up, we don't have to own that child behavior. We don't have to own that story of who we were when we were little because we didn't know any better, because now we know better. And so it's about a psychological mental shift in owning who we are as women, like how much we've done in our lives to get where we are, and how possible it is to go even further. I'm writing a coffee table book. I'm 63 years old. I'm writing a book. It's like, yeah, like just because you're of a certain age or of a certain position or a certain whatever doesn't mean that mundane and uncertainty have to live in your home. Like you can be on a cycle of accomplishing something that you say that you want, and move the things, and then move that thing, and then discuss that thing, and then take away that thing, and just have a certainty about what it is that you say you want, and chip away, chip away, chip away.
This
And
is where the glory story comes in handy.
Yeah,
You know, you write a glory story for the way you write it as if it's already occurred. And if you go read the blog, I talk about that. You write it as if it's already happened, and then you read it. And then you read it. I have one, and I'm reading it twice a day. And I read it on the very bad day I had this week. I read it twice. And, you know, and sometimes you'll read it and your mind will tell you it's bullshit. And other times you'll read it and you'll feel inspired. Yeah. Here's the biggest thing that we could give you. Consistency is what will save your ass. Consistency of a new behavior and a new thought, of a saying an affirmation, of a picking a tool and using it, the consistent use of it, even when you feel like it and even when you don't. And here's the thing about feelings, like they don't matter in regards to how you can move forward. And what I want, because some people will say, oh, I don't feel like it and I feel sad and I can't do it. And my mother used to say, F your feelings, too bad about that. Let's keep going. And how it's helpful to, because there's some people who will say, oh, it's not self-care if I don't validate my feelings. And yes, validating your feelings and acknowledging them and wallowing in them are two very different things. You can have your feelings, you can be sad as shit, and you can keep moving. And you know how I know? Because my mother died unexpectedly and I was sad as shit, and I still kept walking. I still kept moving. I still kept going. Here's the thing. Think about the people that protect this country, the guys on the wall. If they wake up and they don't feel good, or they broke up their girlfriend or whatever, they don't stop doing what they're doing. Right. They get on the effing wall and they stand where they're supposed to stand and they do what they're supposed to do. Yeah. Navy SEALs don't operate on how they feel. They do missions with broken bones and pains and psychological difficulties, and they just keep moving. Yeah. That's how I want you to think about that. Okay. So it's like you can have your sad, angry, whatever, and keep moving. Yeah. And again, I just want to, for those of you that like, we are not psychologists or psychiatrists. If you are clinically depressed and you are on medication for clinical depression, I don't recommend necessarily watching us maybe or whatever, because you're in a different place. I'm like, this show and my work is talking to the people that are in a place where they now know they want to change and they want to move forward and they feel strong enough to do so. And they just want a kick in the ass to get there. So that's just kind of like a disclaimer, right? I just want people to understand that about what we're saying here. We're talking to those of you that actually want to move ahead and just need help to shake you out of your apathy so that you can begin to take steps forward. Yeah. And that's where I love Karen's thought there. Yeah. What is, be careful. Oh, yeah, for sure. Worries too. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to, you want to talk to solution-oriented people, and you want to have people that, the other thing you can do is you can call, like I can call Tracy and I can say, I just need to vent. Give me 3 minutes and just hold the phone away from your ear. You don't even have to listen.
Yep.
And I can just say whatever I need to say, and then we can talk about what's the forward action. So it's not like we don't have space for each other to complain or be sad or feel screwed up or whatever. It's just that we have a limited, like, okay, that's enough. Let's go.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it? How are we going to solve it? Where do you want it to go? What do you want to see happen?
Yep.
How do you want to move forward? So that is the way that you don't sink into that's how you don't go down the rabbit hole with this stuff. It's not that you won't feel sad or feel yucky or feel like you don't want to or you can't. You can have that and keep moving.
Yes.
You can have your sad and keep rolling.
Yes.
And that's different than stuff the sad, right? You don't stuff it. You have it and you keep going, which means if you're sitting at your desk or whatever and you cry, then you cry and you keep moving.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to end you.
Right. Like the grieving of David's death. The two things that really helped me was just do the next thing. And then also do not let his death become my death. Like, do not let the other person who's passed, who's put you in a grief state, let you stop living your life. And like Noelle said, experience what you're experiencing and do the next thing. And then you have a tear. Well, then you do the next thing. And then you have a day. Well, then you do the next thing. Like you don't stay in that feeling of, whatever it is that happened to come along. So, and to trust the process, back to the original conversation of today.
And this is called being the driver of your life, right? Instead of this is being the victor of your life. This is different from being the victim of your feelings and the victim of your circumstance. No, you are the victor of your life. You are the driver of the bus. You are deciding where it's going. And although you might not be able to control the weather conditions on the road, you can control where you're headed. And you can stop when you need to stop and get a coffee when you need to get a coffee and get off the road when you need to get off the road, as long as you're getting back on and you know where you're going. Michelle's saying it's so hard. She's in survival mode all the time. Yeah, it is hard. No question. However, as you start to, reframe and, maybe we'll talk about that next week because that's a whole nother conversation and it's already 9 and I don't like to keep you guys too long. So maybe we'll talk about that, the reframe. I'll make a note right now. Because you can, even in the middle of something, you can begin to reframe it. And that starts by how you're reporting it out your mouth, right?
That would be good.
So, and okay, I think that's it. Trace, anything else?
No.
If I keep talking, you guys will be here forever.
Right. Figuring out what the next thing is, Melissa. In the go-to list.
The goal list is a great thing. It's a good tool. So go read the blog if you want to hear more about trusting the process.
Well, I want to say one more thing really fast. So when you're in a really great state of mind and you're feeling fabulous about life and you're feeling fabulous about yourself, that's when you can write down the affirmations of who you are. I am this, I am this, I am this, I accomplished this, this is who I am, this is what I do, right? So that when you're having a bad moment and the enemy's attacking you and you think, oh, woe is me, you go to the story that you just wrote, not somebody else wrote about you, but you just wrote that story about how amazing you are. And I'm telling you, it kicks you out of that negative space because you wrote it, because it's your words, right? So that could go on the go list. Oh, what is that?
This is a package of index cards.
Yes.
This is why we give you the tools. See all these index cards? And I got nice bright ones, so they're right in my face.
Yes.
This is where you take index cards and you write one statement on each one about what Tracy just said, where it's going, how it is, how it's manifesting, who you are, all of that. And you keep them right in front of your face in an elastic. You put them in your purse, whatever they need to be. This is based on the principle of the old school flashcards when you were learning your multiplication tables or you were learning the elements for your chemistry class.
Yep.
You take them and you just go through them and you go through them and you go through them and then go through until you shut down that monkey mind voice that is telling you something else. Tracy calls it the enemy. I call it monkey mind. It's that voice in your head that's trying to tell you that you are not going to have a wonderful, victorious existence. It's bullshit. And you need to pipe it down because it's not the truth about you. It just isn't. It just isn't. And so that's what we're going to be working on with you guys, with all the stuff that we're going to be creating and, you know, obviously continuing topically here on the show. Our goal is to get you to see all of the tools that you can use to get yourself from where you are to where you want to go. And it is work and you got to do the work. And we can't say this enough. If you don't want to do the work, you should go away, get off this page, unfollow us, and don't come back, because we don't want to talk to the people that don't want to do the work. Because when you don't want to do the work, you're just going to keep complaining and nothing's going to change. And you're just going to make more evidence for why you can't change. And quite frankly, at 56 years old, I'm not interested in all of those excuses and all of that drama. I want to talk to the people that actually want to do something different.
Yes.
All right. And we're going to leave you on that note. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
All right.